Because this is the first of a 5-week series, I always like to begin a new session with a very beautiful and ancient Sanskrit prayer called the student-teacher prayer. And I think what I will do is put it in the chat. I'll put the English translation in the chat so that I can sing it in Sanskrit, and then we can say it together, those of you who wish to. So I'm just getting that in the chat right now. There we go. It's a wonderful way to set our common intention together. So lengthen up through your spine, let your sit bones and your tailbone root down into the mat or blanket beneath you. Take a deep breath in. Savor the aliveness that you can draw in this moment, lifting the breath all the way up into your chest. Pause at the top to enjoy that fullness. And then exhale, letting go, offering out anything that doesn't need to be here. Any tension in the body, any busyness in the mind, any heaviness in the heart. Again, a long, deep breath in, filling up into the chest. Sip that breath all the way up to the collarbones. Enjoy that fullness. Let every cell in your being sparkle with life force, with prana. And exhale, release. See what you can offer out. To be fully present, fully awake, fully alive this morning for your practice. And one more deep breath in, savoring that breath as if you're taking in the fragrance of a beautiful spring flower. Exhale, release, let it go. Let the shoulders drop away from the ears. Let the heart spread a little bit wider. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvi Navaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you'd like to share with me the English, may we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we create strength among one another. May our study be filled with brilliance and light. May there be no obstacle between us. Om, peace, peace, peace. The sound of Om connects us. No matter how far away we may be in physicality, the sound of Om is like a thread that reminds us that we are all connected, that we are all one. So let's bring the hands together in front of the heart, and those of you who wish to can join me in sharing the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. And let your eyes open with a soft gaze. And I invite you to remove your cushion or blanket that's underneath you, because we're going to get into some spinal rocking now. So come onto your sit bones on your mat. And come into a soft, easy pose. So you have one foot behind the other calf. So not into half lotus, but just a An easy pose, Sukhasana, centered on your sitting bones. Bring your hands to the front of your knees. And on the in-breath, draw the heart forward, the shoulders back and down. Look up, so you're opening the throat, you're opening the chest, you're opening, shining forth from that solar plexus center, arching back. Exhale, chin to chest, shoulders forward. Round the upper back, spread wide between the shoulder blades. Draw the navel in, squeeze out all the breath. And we'll take that seated cat-cow, syncing up your movement and your breath. Inhale, opening the heart, dropping the shoulders back and down, opening to the throat. Exhaling, contracting, rounding the back in flexion, navel draws in. Syncing up your movement, your breath, your awareness. You can layer on that ujjayi breath with a little contraction in the back of the throat. So the breath makes that whisper sound as it moves in and out of the airway. Kind of feels like a feather brushing the back of the throat. And your sit bones are kind of like the blades of a rocking chair. As you come forward, arching back, and as you roll back, rounding the upper back. Few more breaths like that. See if you can take it a little deeper each round, exploring your range of movement and flexion and extension. And then on the next exhale, I'm just changing my view here for you. You can draw the thighs in toward the chest, tuck the chin, and roll onto your back, and we'll take it into some rock and roll. Some of you will take the gentlest expression of that, just hugging the thighs in and letting them go. Hugging them in, let them go. If you can, bring your chin to your chest so you really round the spine and then let go. Those of you who want to take it a little deeper, bring your hands behind your knees and rock from your sitting bones to your shoulders, keeping the chin tucked and the upper back rounded. So we're massaging the spine, inviting stimulation of the chakras and the nerve endings that run along the spine. And if you want to take this deeper, you can cross your ankles, grab opposite big toes, let the feet come overhead, come up onto your sit bones and spread the heart with a big inhale. Make sure you're breathing deeply as you do this. So find the depth of rocking that feels good and available to you. Breathe and enjoy, stimulating the flow of prana. And then settle onto your back, hugging the thighs in Apanasana, and rock side to side. You can either clasp opposite elbows, or you can clasp wrists, or just bring your hands to your shins, letting your upper arms stop you from going all the way to the side. Just massaging on either side of the spine, the muscles on either side of the spine. And then settling onto your back. Clasp your hands around your right shin and extend your left leg along the mat. The whole left side body lengthens and relaxes into the mat. Hug that right thigh into your right ribs. Knee points toward armpit. Squeeze it in so we massage the ascending colon here and give it a little pressure. This is wind relieving pose. So it does exactly what it sounds like. So whatever happens, happens. We can open the windows if we need to. And then we'll take some lubrication of the hip joint by circling that right knee. So just take the knee into circles and let those circles get wider and wider. So we're just lubricating and loosening and saying hello to the hip joint here. And as you open the knee nice and wide, it's like you're coming into a reclining tree pose here. And then you can take that circle wider so the right knee comes all the way down to the floor on the left side of the body, taking it into a little spinal twist, but it's a dynamic flow of movement of big circles into a twist, into a reclining tree, into a twist. And then you can draw the thigh in toward the rib cage again. And this time back into your wind relieving pose, but this time lift the left leg off of the mat. Let it hover about a foot above the floor and point and flex. So we begin to activate calf muscle, ankles, bottom of the foot. You can circle the ankle, just bring some movement there, some exploration. And then on the exhale, chin to chest as you roll the head and shoulders off the mat. Now we begin to activate your core a little bit more, lower abdominal muscles, upper abdominal muscles, activating here. Hug that right thigh in and hold for 3 long deep breaths. And if it's available, you can release your hands, turn the palms up as if you are receiving that pouring down of grace that's always raining down on us. 3 deep Ujjayi breaths. See if you can keep the upper back lifted off the mat, the chin tucked, nose toward navel. Get a little lift in the corners of the mouth. Enjoy this. And after your 3rd deep breath, just let the body melt right into Shavasana, just to release and let go. Feel the echo of that sequence and just let the body melt into the mat. Just feel the energy flowing, feel the difference between right and left side. Then you can hug the left thigh in, wind relieving pose, give a little pull in, drawing it in a little compression, little pressure on the descending colon there. So this just gets things moving in the digestive system, just releasing any stagnation. And let the whole right side of your body lengthen and release into the mat. And then we'll take that left knee and begin to circle it. You can start with a little smaller circles, just focusing on the hip joint, lubricating, loosening, loving it up a little bit. And then take the circles bigger into your reclining tree as you open the hip, into your reclining twist as you draw the knee across the body, letting that low back come into a little rotation, letting the pelvis bring some movement into the pelvis. Lots of breath, and then hugging that thigh, left thigh in. Once again, wind relieving pose. This time, lift the right leg, let it hover, point and flex. Circle the ankle. And then chin comes to chest. See if you can keep the entire upper back and shoulder blades off of the mat here without scrunching the shoulders. Just keep the shoulders relaxed even as they're lifted off of the mat. Keep the facial muscles relaxed. And you can release your hands to receive that grace. Today here in Ithaca, it's a beautiful sunny day, so we can think of it as the light pouring down to bless us. So open your palms to receive that. Deep breaths. Little Buddha smile as you lift the corners of the mouth. And then floating back down into Shavasana. Take a long deep breath in, filling up into the chest. And exhale, release the back body into the earth. We're going to come up back to a seated position. So you can hug your thighs in and either rock up if you enjoy that, or you can roll onto your side and press yourself up. You're going to come to seated on your sitting bones with your feet as wide as your mat or wider. So if you have long legs, you want your feet to be definitely on the outside of your mat. And we'll come into some windshield wiper knees. Just like windshield wipers in a car, both come down at the same time, and they don't touch each other, they don't move together, so keep your feet, in other words, they don't creep together and bang into each other. So you want to make sure your feet stay nice and wide. And as you do this, really try to get a little bit more turning of the pelvis so one hip pointer turns toward the opposite knee. So you're really getting the low back to twist one way and the other, getting some movement of the pelvis, and bring some cat-cow movements here. As the knees come down, the heart opens. You could look up as you inhale, exhale, chin to chest. So we're moving the knees side to side like those windshield wipers, but we're taking cat-cow undulations of the spine. Lots of breath. And then you can bring opposite arm across the body. So as the knees come down to your right, left arm reaches long and away. Heart turns to face the back of the space. Reach and breathe into your fingertips as both knees plant down. Exhale to center. Inhale, reach. So you're lengthening through the whole side body, reaching into your fingertips. And at your own pace, flowing side to side, just taking that twist a little further up the spine here. And notice if there's any creep of the feet together and keep them nice and wide. And then the next time you come onto your knees toward the right, come onto your right knee and lengthen your left leg. Tippy toes to fingertips grow long. You're coming into a half circle. On your lower hand, come up on fingertips or fists. Press the hips forward and take some big sweeping circles of that upper arm. So we begin to open through the shoulder. And we're not just circling the arms, we're turning the heart to the sky, looking up at the sky, turning the belly and the hips even to face the sky. So it's a gesture of saying, yes, I am grateful to be alive today. Brush the earth, open the heart to the sky. You can even say the ancient Sanskrit mantra of joy. You guys know what it is? Woohoo! That's it. Sit down, come slowly down onto your sitting bones, widen your feet, your knees come to the other side. You're going to come onto your left knee and left lower leg, your right leg, I'm mirroring you here. Tippy toes to fingertips, see if you can grow an inch longer. Big breath, press the hips forward. Really helps to have the lower hand up on fingertips or fists. You have a little more room. And then those big sweeping circles. Brush the earth, greet the sky. Look up at the sky on the inhale and roll your shoulders open so your heart faces the sky. And yes, offer that wonderful mantra of joy. Woohoo! Ha ha! Yeah. Big breath, one more big circle. The I'm glad to be alive movement, and back onto your sit bones. And bring the soles of the feet together on your sitting bones, preparing for Baddha Konasana, shoulders over hips. Come a little bit forward on your sit bones, shoulders back, leading with your heart. Just butterfly the legs for a moment. I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling the reverberation of that sequence. A lot of tingling and aliveness. And then lengthening from your tail to your crown, like your spine is like an arrow. Fold from the hips. So we're not going to go into Shlumpasana here by rounding the spine. Your shoulders are back. You're leading with your heart. You might not go down as far, but you're still going to get a lovely opening in the hip and stretch in the inner thigh. So take a little pulse here. Inhaling, backing off just slightly to lengthen. Exhaling, just meeting your edge. Just allowing the heart to melt forward into your edge. And notice how the edge changes each time you meet it. It might be a very subtle difference, but you may notice that the body begins to open. If you back off to lengthen and then meet the edge again with a deepening, just exploring where that place is where you feel the resistance. And without pushing or plowing through anything, you're just meeting it with curiosity and gratitude for whatever body you show up in today. Backing off, coming back to sit centered on your sit bones. We're going to take it into cradle the baby. So take one leg. Now your opposite leg can either be straight or bent. But when you come in to cradle the baby, you want to try to bring your lower leg as close to parallel to the floor as you can. Your foot as close to the shoulder, that's like the baby's head. And you want to, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see a do and don't. You want to stay long and lifted in the spine, centered on your sit bones, shoulders over hips, rather than going into Shlumpasana. So, elegant long spine, draw that lower leg in, and if you have any variations that you enjoy, some people like doing this on your back in like a figure 4 if you prefer that. Otherwise, perhaps bringing elbow underneath the lower leg, pressing the knee away, or bringing both hands, both elbows underneath your lower leg, drawing it in. This is a juicy one. So breathe into the place where you feel the energy. Yeah. And go for that place where it feels like an oh yeah. Never go to the place where you push past it to the point of pain. Just to that oh yeah place. I feel it. I am alive. You can feel this in your glutes. You can feel this in your hip perhaps. Perhaps the iliotibial band of connective tissue along the outside of the thigh. One more breath here. And then release. And other side. Cradle the baby. So you've got a pair of twins here. And you want to try to get that baby's head, your foot as close to your shoulder as it'll comfortably go. No need to force, but that's just the direction you want to move toward. Long spine centered on sit bones. Draw your heart toward your baby. Ujjayi breath. Send your breath into any places where it's tight or you're noticing any restriction. Take any variations that you explored on the other side. Yum, yum. And when the sensation is strong, see if you can, as you send the breath there, let the breath become a little slower and deeper. Sometimes the tendency is to constrict and contract and have your breath short and tight. See if you can actively use the breath to be long and slow and deep, and let it be the medicine that opens, that releases, that heals. Releasing here, straighten out the legs, shake them out. So we're going to do a seated sequence here, coming into Dandasana. And this is one that stretches the backs of the legs, the low back, and activates the core. It's rowing the boat. Here, I'll turn this way so I can see you folks. The rowing the boat, the idea is that we're going to be activating the core by leaning back as far as we can, but keeping your legs planted where they are. You're going to grab the oars with your hands, making fists, and when we're going to inhale, drawing the fists up the legs and leaning back as far as you can go without rounding the upper back, long spine. Just feel that core activate. Draw the hands up to the shoulders and exhale as you fold forward. When you exhale and fold forward, you're going to stretch the low back, you can stretch the legs, and you're going to compress the abdominal area, so you're going to give your abdominal organs a little massage. Inhale, draw the oars up to the armpits. Exhale, fold, try to reach past your feet. Inhale, pulling the oars in. Exhale, pushing away. Inhale, drawing in. Circle those oars. Fold into a fold. Dynamic movement flowing with breath. Inhale, leaning back. How far can you lean back and keep your backs of your legs planted? Exhale. On that exhale, see if you can feel the belly meet the thighs and compress and massage those organs in the lower abdominal cavity. Exhale. Inhale, draw back. Long spine as you do this. We've gotten to the other side of the lake, so now we're going to row backward. So this time, press the oars away. So let the hands come down the legs, still folding, still reaching back the feet. Inhale, lift up, lean back just like you did before. The only difference is that the arms are circling in a different direction as you row backwards. And we can sing the wonderful song, classic song of rowing the boat, but a nice paraphrase. Propel, propel, propel your craft gently down the liquid solution, ecstatically, 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 ecstatically. Existence is but an illusion. Now can we do that as a round? All right. 3 more circles. Enjoy that leaning back, feeling that core light up. And bring your boat into parking at the shore. Just come into Dandasana to feel the effects, the reverberation of that sequence. Deep breath in. Exhale, release, and swing the legs around. Coming into your table pose, take it into some cat-cow. Syncing up your movement and your breath and your awareness. Toes curl under. And on your next exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Let the heart melt down to the place between the feet. Press down and forward into the hands. Lengthen through the whole back of your torso from your hips to your fingers and beyond your fingers into the earth. You can take your dog for a slow sauntering walk, letting the hips sway side to side, lengthening through the back of one leg and then the other. Keeping navel drawn in and up with a slight Uddiyana Bandha abdominal lift. Lifting sacrum, tilting your tailbone back and lifting your sacrum. Pressing low belly to the thighs. And then coming forward into your plank pose, nice firm plank. If you need knee down plank, you can take that. Long line through the back body, shoulders away from the ears, arm bones stacked, legs firm. Big inhale, and then exhale, knees, chest, chin, butt up in the air. Those of you who need a modification could come down onto your belly, maybe forehead down. And then take it into your cobra. Start with baby cobra, shoulders draw back, all 10 toes anchor. You can take it into your snake pose. If you can practice keeping the lift here, engaging the muscles in the back that keep you lifted. Clasp your hands, squeeze the shoulder blades toward the center of the back. Let the heart shine forward. Legs are active enough you feel your kneecaps lifted, even though your toes stay planted. Ujjayi breath. Then hands come under the shoulders. Either stay here for another breath or come into your full cobra, peeling the torso off but keeping the pelvis planted. Shoulders down and back, heart open. Big breath in and exhale. Come into a cat stretch, round the spine. Inhale, cow tilt, toes curl under, back to your downward facing dog. We're going to come into a forward bend, so hop or walk or float the feet between the hands. Come into a forward fold here, nice and close, belly to legs. Let the head hang down. Find your movements of the head, yes and no and maybe. Take a half lift, flat back, slide your fingertips up the shins to just below the knees. Find a parallel spine to the floor, back of the neck long. Exhale, release, and fold. And you can soften your knees as you need to. And you can soften the knees a little more. Release the hands, rising sun. Reaching out to the side, palms turn up. Palms come together. Exhale, hands return to the heart. Each time the hands come together like this, you're coming into that sense of present in the here and now. It's a little warm in here. I think we should crack the window. What do you say? A little cracking of the window here. All right, we're going to take one more side body stretch before we go into a vinyasa flow. So arms reach and rise, and I'll mirror you here. Your right fingers are going to grab your left wrist, and you're going to come into a standing crescent moon shape. Press the left hip out to the side. Exhale. Inhale up to center. Exhale, release. Come into a bent knee. Cross your arms. Inhale, reach up. Other side. Exhale. Inhale up to center. Do a couple of more of those each side. Opening, letting the ribs smile open. Now you can choose to do one more each side just the way we're doing it now, or you can take it into what I call the side stretch on steroids. So as you grab your left wrist, let your left foot come behind your right, as far over to the right side as you can. Onto the outer edge of your right foot, bend your left knee, bend your right knee, and press your left hip out to the side. Yeah, it's a little bit of a balance challenge. Yeah, release, and just feel the difference between one side and the other. You feel that? And other side. So now you're going to grasp the right wrist, bring the right foot as far over to the left as you can. Come onto the outer edge of your right foot. Bend the left knee to juice this up a little bit. Oh, expand and open the ribs on the right side. Breathe space in between the ribs and release. That can be intense on the shoulders, so just take a few moments to just roll the shoulders. One way and then the other. Okay. And come to face the front of your mat, hands in prayer. We're going to take it into a flow with some lunges, back bends, forward bends. Big breath in and release. Inhale, arms reach and rise. Reach through the right, reach to the left, arch back, heart, hands, gaze skyward. Exhale, deep dive, bow to the earth. Half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, framing the feet with your fingers. Step back, right foot, inhale, low lunge. So lower that knee down, unshrug the shoulders and lengthen through the spine. If you need to set up a padding underneath your knee, you can do that. If you need blocks underneath your fingers, you can do that. And then inner thighs toward the center, sweep up into your kneeling warrior, drop the shoulders, spread the heart, find that navel lift. Exhale, meet your hands behind you. Inhale, open the heart. If it feels good, you can arch back a little bit here and look up at the sky, a little more stability practice. Exhale, release. Step back into your plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga if you prefer that, if your body is open to that. Inhale, cobra, either low or high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take another breath in downward facing dog. Full breath in and out through the nose. Low belly presses toward thighs. Fingers press down and forward. We're going to step through with the right foot. If you like to do three-legged dog, you can lift those toes high first. Find that long line and step it through, lowering left knee down. Unshrug the shoulders, lengthen through the spine. You want your knee over your ankle and want that pelvis to root down into the earth. Inner thighs toward the center, sweep up and take it into your kneeling warrior. Anjaneyasana, soften the shoulders, spread the heart. Lightning fingers to the sky. Inhale, exhale, hands meet back behind you. Inhale, open the heart, and if it feels available, you can play with taking a little back bend here. And exhale, release. Step up, half lift, flat back. Long spine, exhale, fold. Soften the knees, and rising sun as you press into the feet. Turn the palms up in that gesture of yes. Gather in the hands in prayer back to the chest, back to the heart. Deep breath in and release. Inhale, arms reach and rise. Heart, hands, gaze to the sky, standing back bend. Exhale, deep dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Frame the feet, step back, left foot. Come into your high lunge here. And here, so your back leg is powered up. Press the left palm into the floor. Right hand lifts to the sky. I hear a helicopter overhead. And you're coming into your revolved side angle twist. Long and wide. Exhale, release, step it back into plank and flow it through your connecting vinyasa. Either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling low cobra or full cobra, or maybe up dog if that serves you well. Meeting in down dog. We're going to step it through with the left foot. Take another breath in down dog. Lift through lift the navel in and up. Spread your sit bones like peacock feathers, fanning. Open. And then step through with the left foot. If you took a three-legged dog on the other side, you can take it here into your high lunge. Powering up that back leg, back of the knee crease lifts to the sky. Unshrug the shoulders, and then take it into your twist. Your revolved side angle, long and wide, like the rays of the sun. Big inhale as you grow long and wide. Exhale, release. Step up half, lift flat back. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees, rising sun. Reach out to the horizons. So if you're gathering, then that light, draw it back to the heart. Inhale. Exhale completely. See where you can soften. See where you can lighten. On the next in-breath, sun rises. Arch back and bow to the earth. Exhale. Flat back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back again. A whole leg length. You're going to spin that right heel in 45 degrees. Foot comes flat. So that heel lines up with instep. Bring your left forearm to your thigh. Sweep the right hand long and away, right arm long and away, so you're coming into an unbroken diagonal line from the outer edge of your right foot to your fingertips. See if you can unshrug your shoulders here. Activate your core to support this lengthening of the spine. If you want to take it into a bind, you can reach that hand back behind you, grab your thigh, roll open the shoulder, look up at the sky. So a side angle with a bind. And then releasing, growing again long from your foot to your fingertips as you take a deep breath. And then exhale, wheel up into your warrior two. Nice open hips facing the long end of your mat, long and wide through the heart center from fingertips to fingertips. If your leg gets fatigued, that bent leg, you can straighten it for a moment. Take a deep breath in and exhale back and land there. All right, your knee draws toward your pinky toe to get that nice inner thigh stretch on that front leg. Turn the front palm up, take it into your expression of dancing warrior, opening through the rib cage, side body. Exhale back through warrior two, circle the arms down, frame that foot. You come in onto the ball of the back foot, back into a high lunge here, and take it through your flow. Plank pose. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. It's always fine to take it slow, to slow it down and just take a moment in child as your transition. Meeting in downward dog. We're going to step through with the right foot. You can take it into your three-legged dog again, or take it one step further to rotate, roll the hip open and kick asana here. Knee to the sky. Step that right foot through. High lunge, spin the back heel inward 45 degrees, so the left heel spins in. Toes turn out 45. Right forearm to thigh, take it into a long line. So notice the length of your stance. If it's too short, you're going to not have that unbroken diagonal. So roll open your upper shoulder. Activate your core to lengthen here. Upper arm in line with the ear. Yeah, beautiful. See if you can turn this palm down and reach long at an angle, unless that doesn't feel good for your arm. Okay. Take it into a bind if you enjoy a bind. So you can reach back of the hand to opposite hip, or for a little deeper bind, grab your thigh with your with your left arm. I'm not mirroring you here. Roll open, look up at the sky, and release. Inhale one more time to grow long. Exhale into your Warrior two, see if you've got any shrugging in the shoulders that you can relax and open wide through the heart. Turn the front palm up, take it into your dancing. Big breath in. Look up at your upper palm. Sometimes this is called sky gazing warrior. Exhale, circle down into your lunge. Step up, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees and sweep up. Palms together, gathering in the medicine that you need from the sun, from the sky, from this day, drawing it into your heart. We've got one more sequence to take, which will take it into playing with balance. So I'll turn this way and then I'll turn that way so you can see better. Inhale, lift and reach to the right, reach to the left. Heart, hands, gaze to the sky, standing back bend. Slow, deep dive, forward fold. Half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, frame the feet with your fingers. Step back with your left foot this time. You're going to be on the ball of your left foot, back leg straight, and rise up slowly into your balancing warrior. This is our first balance practice of the day. Hip pointer squared to the front knee over ankle, soften the shoulders, spread the heart. And then from here, all right, so you've got your left foot back. I'm mirroring you. You can open your wings and you can either spring off into in one move, or you can come up into sort of a mountain first, feet together, and then come up into your crane pose. Standing leg, the knee is just like a little micro bend. Softness in the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. Knee at hip height, lifted knee. Softness in the face, fix your gaze into a spot on the floor where you can anchor your attention. From here, we're going to take it right into the eagle pose. So wrapping that lifted leg around the standing leg and get deeper into that squat. And you can either let the foot dangle or have it on the floor, toes on the floor or block, or if it's available, wrap your foot around and get deeper into that squat. And so your left arm comes underneath right in your expression of eagle arms, which could be just giving yourself a hug. So whatever you need to spread behind the heart, between the shoulder blades, get down into it, lift your fingers. All right, open your wings, back into crane, and we'll take that leap of faith. Shoulders come forward, float that foot back into your balancing warrior. Now we'll take it into another twist. Option, palms come together, take it into prayer twist for a little more vigorous balance play, or split the hands like you did before, coming into revolved side angle. So if you take your prayer twist, upper left arm, outside knee, roll the shoulders open, look up at the sky, firm the legs, inner thighs toward the center. Release, frame that front foot, step back into plank, flow it through your connecting flow, which might be just a moment in child. Listen to your body before we meet in downward facing dog. We're going to step through with the left foot. So if you did a three-legged dog on the other side and maybe kicked your own asana, you can take it there, or you can simply step it through. Coming into high lunge on the ball of the back foot, shoulders and hips squared to the front of the mat. Float up, soften the shoulders, spread the heart. Practicing courage, fortitude of a warrior, focus, commitment, and staying in balance. Fix your gaze into your drishti point on the floor. Open your wings and spring off into flight in either one step or two. See where you can soften. Here. Just letting the foot dangle underneath the knee. You don't want to draw the foot near the body. Just let that lower leg hang straight down. Let the breath be long and slow and deep here. Feeling that wind beneath your wings. And then when you're ready, you can take it into your expression of eagle, bringing this time your right arm underneath left. Thumbs point toward you in eagle, so if you don't wrap the wrists, you can just bring the backs of the hands to one another. But either way, you want your thumbs pointing to you. Get down into it, lift fingers high. And when you're ready to release, opening into your crane once again. Take that leap of faith. On the ball of the back foot, come back to your balancing warrior. Find your steadiness and ease. Palms come together. Take it into the twist that you did on the other side. Prayer twist, or one hand down, one hand up. Release when you're ready. Step up, half lift. And fold. And because it wouldn't be a complete yoga class without everyone's favorite pose, sit down in your chair, bend your knees, make sure your shoulders are higher than your hips, not like this. Palms come together, 3 deep breaths. Ujjayi breath. Yes. When you're ready to release, after 3 long, slow, deep Ujjayi breaths, let the sun rise in your body and in your heart, gathering in that light, drawing the hands back to the heart, and feel what's alive in you as a result of this invigorating, enlivening, pranifying practice. And when you're ready, come down to your mat in your child's pose. Just take a moment to ground and center. Your forehead can come down to the mat, or you can have your forehead on a block or on stacked palms or fists. Just take a moment to release into the mat. Your knees can be wide and belly in between the thighs, or you can be resting on your thighs. Take a moment to connect once again with your breath. Let it slow down and deepen with that Ujjayi sound brushing the back of the throat. Then rising up into table pose. We're going to come into a belly down back bend here, and you have a couple of choices. Those of you who want a gentler back bend can first start, we can all start actually by reaching the hands forward into puppy stretch, also known as heart melting pose, chin down or forehead down, reaching sitting bones, tailbone back, hands forward, lengthening through the whole back body. And then you can either lower your elbows down and come into Sphinx. That's actually a good place for all of us to enter into this practice. Coming into Sphinx, elbows planted under your shoulders, arms making a 90-degree angle, rooting pelvis down, reaching toes back and planting all 10 toes down. You can either stay here, or you can play with a mashup of seal pose and Sphinx by bringing your big toes together and your heels close to your buttocks, pressing down and forward into the hands to straighten the arms, maybe even just a little, to stretch through the whole front of the torso. Or, those of you who want to take a deeper back bend, can roll the torso down, bring the forehead down, reach back for your feet, and lift up. Some of you like to do this with your hands below your ankles and feet flexed, if your body is flexible enough to do this little deeper version. Otherwise, grab your feet, lift your thighs off of the mat, shoulders back, heart opens. Kick up and back, up and back. You're in your Dhanurasana, the bow pose. Breathe and enjoy. Lift the corners of the mouth too. That's very important. And float the thighs down. Float the feet down. Make a pillow with the hands. Turn the head to one side. Let your cheek rest on your palms. Let everything go. Slide the hands under the shoulders. Press up into a cat stretch, which is your complementary pose to this. Nice rounded spine. After that deep extension, we'll take some flexion. And then from here, we're going to take a sequence that will be our last sequence before we come down onto the mat on our back. Slide your right knee forward behind the right wrist. Slide your left leg back and come into your expression of pigeon, which could be just simply your Ekapada Raja Kapadhasana here. Sideways it would look like this, hands underneath the shoulders, or you can come into your resting pigeon, folding over that front leg. Some of you might want to take a little more invigorating practice. If you enjoyed that bow pose and back bend, you can reach for the back leg, maybe taking pigeon dancer or pigeon bow pose here. So take a couple of breaths to explore where your pigeon wants to fly this morning. If your right buttock doesn't reach if there's space between the mat and your right buttock, you might want to put a little folded blanket underneath for a little support. If you're going to do this, cool that you're able to reach your foot, but let's put something there and it'll be much easier. Bring your hand back this way so that you can get more, yeah, yes. All right. One more breath in your pigeon pose. This is a short class, so we're not going to be holding the poses for really long, but we're going to be just exploring all the different ways our bodies can open. And then remove whatever is underneath your buttock, your right buttock, and swing the left leg around. You're going to come onto your right buttock, so we're going to take it into a seated twist. So you're going to bring that left foot to the mat on the opposite side, just next to your right thigh. Wrap your right arm around your leg. Let your left hand sweep around back behind you and place your palm down behind your low back. Not too far back, because then it'll make the body lean back. Take it into a seated twist. Some of you might want to do upper arm, outside thigh for a little more leverage. Lengthen up on the inhale. Deepen into that twist on the exhale, looking over left shoulder. Huh? You want to try to get both sitting bones down. Yeah. Unwinding here from your twist. Unwind your leg, come back momentarily through your table to take that pigeon on the other side. Slide the left knee behind the left wrist. Right leg goes back and find your elegant lift in your Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, shoulders back and down. It's a beautiful front body stretch and back bend. It's a wonderful hip opener and glute stretch and psoas stretch for the back leg. And then take whatever variations you played with on the other side. Explore it on this side. All right. So if you have something underneath you here, that will give you some support to be able to keep your center of gravity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some of you might have access to mermaid pose, otherwise just grabbing your back foot or taking it into that resting pigeon. Every single one of these options has wonderful benefits. So unless you are actually sitting on your block, you're not gonna get. Don't try to reach for the back leg until you're actually rooted here. Yes, and bring your hand back a little bit. Yeah. All right, we're going to come right into that twist now. So your left knee is forward and drawing out at an angle toward the left. You're going to remove whatever's underneath your buttock, swing your right leg around, lengthen up through your spine, find yourself evenly seated on both sit bones, wrap your left arm around, right hand reaches back behind you, and take that spinal twist. Leading with the heart, let the head follow. Looking over your right shoulder. Every in-breath, lengthening up through the crown of the head, back of the neck long. Every exhale, exploring if you can go a little deeper into the twist, maybe just a millimeter. Unwinding your twist, and unwrap your leg. Come back into your table, maybe another cat-cow for a moment, and then I'm going to invite you to come onto your back. All right. And just so we can feel complete with all the ways we want to move in our asana practice, I'm going to invite you to take 1 minute of an upside down pose. So that could be just legs up in the air, maybe a block underneath your sacrum. Maybe you want to take supported bridge with a block underneath your sacrum and your feet down on the floor. And maybe you want to have your legs straight up. Maybe you want to take a moment of plow to shoulder stand, just so that we can have a few moments of having the lower body higher than the upper body. Once you find your way into your upside down, your inversion, just bring your attention to your breath and let it be long and slow and deep. And very slowly, mindfully, I invite you to come down into Shavasana on your mat. Let your feet be a little wider than your hips. Palms turn up. And that same idea of receiving that grace that's pouring down today on us as sunlight. Sometimes as rain. As you release any control of the breath and just let the breath find its own natural rhythm without any efforting from you. See if you can allow the body to soften, to allow the earth to receive you. Notice if there's any places in the body where you can sense any residual holding or tension. And with the next exhale, offer that into the earth. Today's chant is a chant from the Sikh tradition. Ramadasa Sase Sohang, which is a group of powerful seed mantras or bij mantras. And roughly this chant means sun, moon, earth, infinity, and all that is in infinity. I am that. dasa sa se soham Ramadasa 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 sa se soham Begin to let your breath deepen. Bring some movement into your fingers and into your toes. Find any movements that bring you back into present moment, into your body. And slowly make your way onto your side in fetal position, coming into the primal yoga posture, first one you ever did, before you even knew what yoga was. Pressing yourself up to your yogic seat. The beginning of our practice, I said that the sound of Om is a connecting link. It's a vibration that is kind of like honoring the strands that connect us, the invisible strands that connect all beings everywhere. So let's close our practice with that sound. Bringing the palms together in front of the heart. Deep breath in. Let's share the sound of Om together. Namaste. Take all this prana, this life force, this joy, this aliveness out into your day. And look forward to being together again next week. Like to, those of you who wish to stay for a 10-minute sitting meditation can either stay on Zoom, or are you folks staying for meditation? All right, so just take a moment to find your posture that supports a long spine. You want to have your hips higher than your knees. It's very much more of a challenge to keep that long spine. If you're sitting down on a surface, what tends to happen is the spine tends to want to go into Shlumpasana. So if the hips are a little bit higher, and it's easier for the knees to open wide down to the floor, you might want to put like a rolled up something underneath if your knee isn't supported. Do you want to be supported? Is this high enough? If it looks, your spine looks good, so you might want to just take a little something underneath there so you really feel grounded and supported. You feel grounded there? Okay. So we'll sit for 10 minutes. And I'm going to give really minimal instruction here because I've been talking a lot all morning, and I think that for us to really just enjoy the silence would be very, very nice. So, all I'll say to set the tone is to feel your body settling in to your cushion or meditation bench beneath you, whatever you're using. And just like any other yoga posture, you want to find that balance in your body of steadiness and ease. One of the most essential teachings in the Yoga Sutras is that our yoga pose, our yoga asana, yogic seat, should be steady and comfortable, firm but easeful. So you want to find that sweet spot in the body where your spine is actively lengthened, shoulders stacked over hips, heart open. You're using just enough effort to keep that aliveness, and to keep that Sushumna spinal nerve open and unblocked. But you want to create a sense of ease so there is not more effort needed, so that there's a sense of softness and openness and spaciousness in the body and in the mind. Notice if there's any clenching of the jaw or furrowing of the brow, and see if you can invite a little bit of softening there. While maintaining alertness and presence. Hands can be resting gently on your thighs, either palms down or palms up. Notice where you sense the breath, whether it's the nostrils, the chest, the belly, solar plexus, wherever you feel the movement of breath, and let the attention gently settle and ride with that movement of inhale and exhale. We're not trying to make anything happen or grasping for any kind of exalted mind state here. We're simply becoming the witness to the movement of breath and any activity in the mind. So if thought bubbles up in the mind, if emotion arises in the heart, we simply note it and gently favor the awareness of breath. Just allowing any thought or mental or emotional activity to just dissolve with the out-breath. And just return to that awareness of the inhalation and the exhalation as it naturally moves in and out. bringing our meditation to a close. Let your eyes open. May we take this peace and well-being into our day until we meet again. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.